everybody. Another live stream today. Oh, I have a bit of noise behind me from the machine, which brings down the humidity in the studio, because I have a basement studio, and if you don't have this kind of humidity control, you get a lot of bad things for your health, but also for the equipment. Then it starts to get rusty. So that's a studio basement is very nice because of the acoustic. You don't bother anybody, but that is one of the disadvantages. In the summer, you need to take care of the humidity. So let's see. We had a busy week again, and I wanted to talk today about using MIDI controllers and getting a feel to your plugin. And so the idea is this: if you have maybe a synthesizer like here, an older Virus B, or maybe you have a Nord lead, or maybe one of a Roland, or simply a MIDI master keyboard, having dials for certain parameters is very great to have. And this is what I wanted to show you today, how easily you can do this, for instance, with BIT, and why it's cool, because that gives more feel to your plugin, to your instrument. Air conditioning. No, it's not an air conditioning. It takes away the humidity in the my basement studio. Another thing which I need to mention. This one is really great. It's a little light in the studio. Oh, it's so handy to have, because I needed to find a MIDI input, and it's cool. The complete control also has a MIDI input, so I connected to MIDI out from the Virus B to the MIDI in. So now I can use the Virus B to control my software synthesizers. So here, let's see, we have a BIT. And what I want to tell you, what you can do and which parameters are really interesting to MIDI latch. Well, the first would be the amplifier, the attack, decay, sustain and release. The fade you also could use, but it's not that often used on the amplifier. So, and indeed, even in BIT, you have the basic attack, decay, sustain and release. So first, what I do in Quad is make sure that everything is clear. So I do clear MIDI, which means that there is no MIDI latching. And the only thing you have to do is that you make that the MIDI connection in Cubase makes all MIDI input. So it takes my keyboard, but also this one. So, and then I go over to this dial and I click latch to MIDI. Then I turn this dial. You see, that one is matched. That's attack, and here is decay, latch to MIDI. Then I have the decay MIDI latched. Then I go to sustain, latch to MIDI. Okay, and then release. Sometimes you don't see the dial moving from the start. This has to do with one cool feature, which I'll explain in a second. So this one would be the first one: attack, decay, sustain, and release from the amp section. Of course, if a other synthesizer like Quad or Predator 2, or maybe even Massive or whatever, can do this, it's really interesting to have this. So now you see, these are the ones which are important, and why they are cool if you have a synthesizer that sends out controllers, because you have already also the parameters listed. So here is attack, and that's attack. This is decay, yes, it's decay, sustain and release. Okay, so this will be the first one, the amp envelope, very important. Then you would go to the filter section, and we see here we have filter 1, and I can use the cutoff frequency, latch to MIDI. Here, latch it to MIDI. Yes, the resonance. I also want to latch to MIDI. So go here, latch to MIDI. resonance, okay. Then what I think is important is the envelope amount. So here is envelope amount, and I MIDI latch that one also, latch to MIDI, okay. Even key follow, I could do key tracking, it's called here. So that will be an option, but I leave that as it is, although I could, of course, latch to MIDI. I can pick it, here it is. Yeah, and then there is a filter balance, and this filter balance, yeah, that's here on this particular instrument. I would not use it yet, but so to recall, filter 1, cutoff frequency, resonance, envelope amount. Then, of course, also important to control the envelope which is controlling this filter. So here the envelope for filter 1, latch to MIDI. Okay, there it is. Decay, latch to MIDI. Sustain. Then fade I could use, latch to MIDI. Here it is, fade. And then we have, of course, the release, latch to MIDI. Okay, so now I already have quite some features already. So you see, okay, let me see, the sound is maybe a bit soft. So, and now you see, these are very important parameters. Envelope amount, so it's the same name, envelope amount. You don't see it, I think, on the on YouTube, but this one where I'm pointing my fingers, envelope amount, which is resonance, and then of course the envelopes. So that's cool because the you really have far more connection to the instrument, and it can work very fast. So you need to think of your own taste, but what I say is the amplifier, envelope, the filter, envelope amount, cutoff, resonance, just what I told you. Then we could have the option for filter 2. Let's see if I can have that, because when I click here on filter 2, I'm not sure if I should be able to have filter 2 also MIDI latch. So latch to MIDI, yes, that works. Resonance, latch to MIDI, here it goes. Envelope amount, latch to MIDI. Yes, but that one doesn't work. Oh yeah, here it comes, sorry. Then key follow, of course that one also would be possible. Latch to MIDI. And yeah, I even could have the panning here, but I don't take that one. Let's see if then I still also can use the envelope, but I think the envelope inside the virus is only one, so it doesn't have a different envelope for each filter, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, you see, so even I switched to filter 2, but it changes filter 1. So filter 2, I cannot have a filter control, but still, you can have already some nice things going on. So the other thing what I like to do, yeah, pick for instance here a waveform. So because oscillator 1 you see here in the virus, I MIDI latch that waveform to MIDI, latch to MIDI. Okay, you see how I can change the waveform also from oscillator 2, latch to MIDI. You see the waveform on oscillator 2. I could even semitone, even MIDI latch that one, latch to MIDI, so I can change the semitone of oscillator 2. And here we have the oscillator volume. I think this is general, but here we have a sub oscillator volume. I could use that one here on that one, latch to MIDI. Here we go. And here this, and then here we have oscillator volume, but yeah, let's keep that for what it is. So now you see I already have an interesting setup, and I even could say to the LFO, which is down here. I'll MIDI latch the speed of the LFO. Okay, so the LFO. Now, once I have a nice setup, what I can do, I go up here and do save. Oh, here I already made one, Virus B. Okay, save, and I have my setup saved. So you see here, when I go back to the original sound, and simply what I will do, and then simply show you how cool it is. So now I have this sound. Okay. You can change here the filters, filter 1. Oh no, this is filter 2. Oh no. No. Oh, now he... Okay. Now I understand why he does that. So it's not possible to have them independent. Unlatch MIDI, so I put that one back and put that one back. Latch to MIDI. Okay, here we go. Of course I need to save that one. Save again, because yes. Now a kind of bad synth sound, and if I would say, okay, let's go put on the arpeggiator, but then you hear, no, not working. But now I can very fast change the envelope. Simply very fast, because now I can move within seconds. Take another waveform. Makes a little artifoil. See how cool it is? So this is now a totally different sound than what it was originally. Yeah, I see here something more instinctive. Yeah, for me, sure. And especially if you have a synthesizer which has already a kind of layout, that is really then make it connect to, in these terms also with the software. So yeah, indeed, it's a edit one. Yeah, I need to save that preset, of course. Oh boy, another preset. Save preset in folder. So I dropped this one in my own folder, but it's a nice preset, something for next update. So let's see, oh, where am I? Here in the bank folder of BIT. I put it in the Rob Live. So okay, and I called it Feel Organ Arab. Is that one good? Yeah, why not? So I only would do the modulation wheel, which is in filter 1, to open it. So now I see the modulation wheel, I'll open it here then. Okay, so save preset. Then you see, just by showing, yeah, I need to check the chat room. Yeah, sure, if your instrument sends out MIDI controller data, you can use it. It's a lot of modern keyboards have this. And of course, it's the case if you have a complete control keyboard, you have already the dials and the layout. So, but this is in case you don't have a complete control, and maybe you have a Virus B or a Nord lead or a Roland synthesizer which sends out the controller. Yeah, then you can match them. So what I match is the amplifier section with the amplifier section of the Virus B, filter 1 with the envelope connected, the waveform I can select, and yeah, and you can even add more if you like. So there is in the playlist Diverse a folder called, in the playlist called Diverse, there is a tutorial which I'm doing the same, not with the Virus B, but with a older EMU Midi controller. And maybe, let me see if I can pick it. Give me 1 second. I will be back in a second. In the meantime, I'll let the drummer drum a few bars. Okay, he doesn't get tired. Enough rehearsal for the drummer. So here is a older EMU keyboard which sends out controller. Let me see that you guys can see it. There's a bit of a delay between the live stream and what you see. Oh, a pretty long delay. I think 30 seconds. Okay. And now I need to see, I need to move to one direction. Oh, that's very hard for me because it's not updating real time. Yeah, I need to do this otherwise. Sorry, guys. Sometimes you have ideas which don't work very well. Let's give it another try. Nope. So, yeah, now we have them. You see, I have all these knobs. Let's have it a bit more. You see cutoff frequency, Q envelope, attack decay, sustain and release for the filter, attack decay, sustain and release for the volume, waveforms, fine tuning. So I use, of course, a masking tape to write down the parameters. But that's an alternative, what you also can do. Okay. So now let's back to the stream. So yeah, I mean, and this is then with BIT, but I also can do the same, of course, with our lovely new machine called Quad. Okay. I don't think that I made a setup here. Load. No. No. So here in the top you also see external controller setup. But also here I could do the same, of course. It has to. So let me simply pick a synth sound. Now amplifier is here. So here I could do latch to Midi, the attack, latch to Midi, decay, and so on. And also the same story with the filters. Filter 1 is selected here, latch to Midi. And of course, you see, I need to turn it a bit extremely, but that is because the external capture mode is active, which is on the back panel. You can put it off, which means that the capture mode is that if you are in a live situation and you turn the dial, that it doesn't jump right away the moment you turn the dial, but it starts changing the sound the moment it hits its parameter value. So here I could say also put on the arpeggiator. And what you also could do then, for instance, you could say with the virus B that you don't use these for the, let's say, the for the volumes of the oscillators, but you use these for the amount control here, for this one maybe, for the phase distortion amount control. Let me see. Latch to Midi, yeah. And then this one, latch to Midi, X. And then this one, latch to Midi. And use this in a dynamic way. So let's go to a different synth. And of course, we need to have a synth where this is pretty active in terms of... Oi, oi, oi. Let's say... And of course, you could record this, as sometimes people do this with the mouse. And now it's recorded, and you see that here inside Cubase as a MIDI controller in this track here. So you also can control it, record it as a controller, like pitch bend or... So, okay, so you see, it's all kind of... And then you have a feel with a dial. It's different than you move the mouse ahead. So I need to check a bit the chat room, because sometimes I keep on talking and then you guys maybe have some questions. Okay, but I need to have something open, so I still open again BIT so that we see that one always on top. Yes, here it is. By the way, yeah, that's the X board. Yeah, it's pity that they are not made anymore, because I found the keyboard very well. Sometimes you have these MIDI keyboards that don't have a nice touch, and they do have a nice velocity response, aftertouch, very nice built ones. So I'm checking here, should work any MIDI controller. Yeah, that I did already. Does Punch 2 work with RPDoc? No, RPDoc is it's not working anymore. We used for that a software which is not available or not good enough anymore. We had too many problems. So, but you can use Punch 2 in Prisma. So if you log in, you can request Prisma, and there is now a standalone version of Prisma which you can start up in applications. If you are on your Mac computer, in applications, you can find it, and on a PC, it will install a desktop icon. So download the latest version of Prisma. We had a few little bugs, so I think Monday we did update again Prisma, because BIT was suddenly disappeared. Now it's available again. So yeah, a good XY controller for BIT. I don't know if there are mini controls, which I think maybe Korg would send it out. in terms of two controls. You also could use here this expression thing. You don't see it, I think, on my video, but the expression fader here on the complete control you could use. 1 second, I'm checking the other. Yeah, I'm checking what use. Okay, I think if I missed something, let me know in the questions, please. Okay, let me give you another example. So then I need to see. 1 second. We have. I think it's not visible. So again, here the layout to make it short. If you have a synthesizer which already has a layout, sends out controllers. The most important ones are the amp, envelope parts, the filter envelopes, which you can find here. So, and let me explain. Oh yeah, I want to explain the capture modes. If you have a preset, okay. If you have a preset, go back to you see the cutoff has a certain setting. And now, well, let me go to the next preset. Now I change it, you see, when I go to this preset here, you see the cutoff frequency of this dial is fully open. So normally without the capture mode, it would instantly jump from this parameter value. So here from this position, you see this dial here, and it's here, it's up. And if the capture mode was not active, you see now nothing happens, although the dial is connected, but it starts changing the sound the moment when the dial, the external controller, picks up. So that is what is capture mode. So it's very handy. So when I click around original and you have a sound and you want to change it, then this you would have without capture mode. Yeah, so therefore this title today is about feel your plugin, and you are getting a connection to your plugin. And I did Midi latch already, so let's go to a few simply ARP sounds. So I'm just playing around with the ARP sound. So I have a ARP sound, I have a bit of drums. Different waveform. So all I want to hear is that it uses, you see in the modulation matrix, the ARP 3 row controls reverb mix. So you can also to do what I did now, this decay, you see this decay? I'm just gonna record it now, watch, and that's really cool to use it in a dynamic way. Not brilliant what I did, but you see, here it pops up in your track. So weird sound, but so yeah, this makes that you really can feel the whole plugin. Okay, I'm checking now the chat room. I don't know if it's possible. Can you control by the XY from transfer? No, that's not possible because XY transfer doesn't send out MIDI controls. You really need to have MIDI controllers for this. Oh, very fast LFO. yeah, that's by using the XY. No, because the you need of course a MIDI out and something which sends out MIDI. No, also if it's not linked, because XY transfer, if you change the output, it needs to be connected. Okay, so I'm checking here the chat room. Yeah, then the other news, of course, is that we today released the new version of Quad. And Quad, you can also do the same what I did now with BIT, MIDI latching. But we created some presets, some very nice presets. I think some of them I did play inside the YouTube video, which was uploaded today. And some of them, so if you go to Quad and you did download the latest version, you will notice that there is an order by date. So if I go to synth sounds and I click order by date, the new ones pop up. April synth. So these are the new sounds. A wave da micro, that's a kind of microwave type of sound. Okay, so I'm playing a few of these new green tea synthesizer. Very mellow. Yeah, the waveform display is there. Okay, but here in the ambient bank there are a few new ones which are very nice. Unsure move pad. Vibe the random. Of course, I need to go to the... This is my kind of a combination sound. And that's because Quad has two filters, and you really, by splitting oscillator 1, going in filter 1 and oscillator 2 and filter 2, you really have very, quite some sound options. It's grind mellow. So, and you see what is really used here, you see sinus waveform, but a little bit of shaping on the second oscillator. This is very minimal, I believe. It's very minimal. Yes. Okay, and let's see. Dance in Space. I don't know anymore what that one is. Yeah, it uses the LFO random down here, LFO 1, sample and hold, and speed is set to 1/4 triple note. So yeah, this is one of the Yeah, this one is also cool. Galaxy Facepad. Yeah, I see somebody cat mentions, can I use a joystick from the Kronos? Yeah, why not? Check, do record and move it around, and then you can see if it puts out MIDI controller data. Most likely it will. I'm using the modulation wheel. So that's some of nice bassy sounds. Then I think last I played already a few of the basses. Wait, that one is really itchy. Okay. They have a little bit the tone of a FM type synthesizer. So this one, nice what you can do with the phase distortion. Okay, let me play another one. There's more minimal style. So yeah, a few basses also. Then of course, what was also new in the ARP sound. No, this one was new. I played it. And I noticed that with the phaser, it works best if you have it fully wet. If you if you are hanging in between, you get these firm volume peaks because you really have phase and doubling of phase. Okay, so these are a few of the new ones. We played already a few about from the from Jamal, of course. Which one was the brilliant one, which reminded somebody of Thriller? Okay, so let's check in the chat room. Everything is still okay. So today about feeling your synthesizer. Beat It, yeah, Beat It was it, and that one was a synclavier, if I'm not wrong. Very cool sound, and now then. Yeah, Jamal recreated that one. He calls it D50, but it's more indeed this typical synclavier sound. So we talked about the using the so I'm checking here if I simply pick one preset. So we had this one here. You see, now it moves. So suddenly, from pad, you make it more a percussive sound. Okay, so I read in the chat room Michael Jackson took it from a CD promo sample from Sound Designers. I don't know, yeah, but it's really a nice, cool sound. This beaded sound by the synclavier. Yeah, so I did not latch all of them. So you see, since sustain is still not used, sustain, here where it is, latch to Midi. And of course to release, latch to Midi. You see, totally different sound than what it was. Now it's not again a ARP sound or a pet sound. And the original sound is this. Original. So simply by having control over the amplifier envelope, suddenly you have a totally different sound. So now filter 1 controls the vowel. So really having control is really a cool thing. So maybe a bit later in the live stream, I really do a example in how you can control your plugin, getting a more organic feel, a more organic connection to it. Okay, so let's go back to the chat room, and then I go back again to to BIT. Yeah, somebody is asking about Jamal. Jamal is originally a guitar player, so a very good guitar player, by the way, and he absolutely, we are very proud he is part of our basic design team, and he really surprises me and surprises a lot of users with very interesting and very often very usable presets. So I'm going back here to BIT to show you again. If I go to synth leads, that's maybe a good example. So simply a kind of trumpet-like sound, but when I change now the envelopes, the filter, you will notice that's totally getting a different sound. but I did shut down my microphone, otherwise you hear the my keyboard playing. So you see here, that's the envelope, which I'm changing a bit of the cutoff frequency, but also I changed a bit the amp envelope. But let me stay now inside the filter section and just play around with this lead and watch how I change the cutoff frequency, envelope, and the envelope settings in how many sounds you can create only by changing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dials. So pay attention to this section in filter 1, and I'm controlling it by the virus B. You see all kind of different characters appear, and am I simply changing a waveform because it's only one oscillator? You see, just playing around, and then you see how much you can do, and you simply have a bit more feeling. And it's also with sequencer sounds. So when I go here to one of the sequence sounds, or ARP banks, ARP and sequences, catch a modular. Now, in this one, it's the case that oscillator 1 goes in filter 1. And for some reason, I cannot control these. No, it's just one control. Although I could say, use filter balance to control filter 2. Let's see if that works. That will be an option. Latch to Midi. Yeah, it works. So now I can control that one for filter. So let's put on oscillator 2. So now I need to control with the mouse. that's cool too if you combine it with, I'm not sure if I have a bit of a, oh, maybe I have already something running. Oh, okay, no. So let's go to the next one. So you see, it's a whole different feeling. It's so if you have the opportunity to, if you have dials, so I place my Virus B back now to its own spot, and then you can see we have here the place this big back again. Here we have the okay, here you can see the controllers, and if I pick now here, and that's cool because today we also had quad compatible add track instruments. I pick then complete control. 1 second. Okay. Or machine. Let me see. Complete control. So I'm not sure if that one. Okay, now my computer is doing weird. Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't want to do what I want to do. Okay. Now, for some reason, guys, I have a freeze up here, but I don't know why. Something is not working right. Give me 1 second. What is the reason? That's a cool one. No, suddenly it doesn't work anymore. How strange, isn't it? Cancel. There must be somewhere a image in the background which is still open, which I don't see. No? This is strange, guys. No, my live stream is totally messed up. So I wanted to show you how it works with complete control and the layouts. You can do the same, and we have laid out the parameters for this, and that's very cool. Only then it doesn't record it as a controller, but as a Midi parameter, not a synthesizer parameter. That's the right thing. Restart Cubase. Yeah, that will be. Yeah, the computer says no. Yeah, sometimes this happens. Oh, save preset as quad. Yeah, that sometimes happens with in the back. Yeah, but I don't see somewhere a screen. There's somewhere a screen hanging. Oh, where is it? Yeah. We are anyhow almost at the end of the live streams. We could check that next week with quad and how you can use it with complete control. Yeah, what I also want to do, because I have a little machine in repair, which is this one, and Gert knows what it is. A good friend of mine is repairing this one, the CRB vocal strings. And we used that one in our band, and for a time it was, don't know, I think it was from an uncle who did distribute this brand, and he gave it to me, and because it's something which is a bit of synthesizer history, and so it's back again, but I needed a repair, and I have 2 videos. Maybe you can hear this video. Let's play it. So now you can hear that it's totally bust. Sounds quite jazzy, isn't it? So it's in repair, but now he already has a few things fixed. Only the upper note, C, that's the wrong note. I don't know if you can hear it, guys, but yeah, this machine is in progress. You see, he's repairing it. Cool, isn't it? So once, what I will do is then, of course, also, okay. We'll make a live stream from that one with that machine, because it has a vocoder on board, which is very funny. So here it is, this Voco Strings, that was the name. And it sounds very like a very icy string sound it has. But there's a built-in vocoder, and it's very typical. There's a motion control, which sounds a bit like 2 oscillators detuning. I'm not even sure if there is a chorus on board, but it's gonna be fixed, and it looks complex. Yeah, it doesn't. Well, in the inside it looks complex. Yeah, it's from the Adams family. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's so I'm a good idea. Gerd said I should sample it for Blue 3, and that's an interesting idea to sample this icy typical sound. So, but I will a live stream with this old machine, and the other idea is to make also a live stream and talk about the Prophet 600 I own, and maybe another thing. So that's also something which would be nice to do in the future. And so not only talking about the software, but just hanging around in my studio and why I like these instruments. That will be interesting. While this CRB or Diamond, was it also called, was created in Italy, they also had an Oberon synthesizer, which we also used, but went defect and never came back from the repair guys because it was impossible to repair. So that one was lost, unfortunately. Okay, so guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, thumbs up, and hope to see you next week. And if in case you missed it, you always can watch it back in the playlist live stream. And don't forget to check the quad video about the new presets, and we have this video about the color option in Punch 2, which is now released, and how this works. Is a video about 3 minutes, and once you see this video, you understand how you can work with the color pads inside Punch 2. Okay. Stay safe and see you next week.